My name is Sarah Collins, and for 5 long years, I tried. I tried to win the affection of my in-laws, the Morrises. I remembered birthdays, hosted flawless dinners, and pretended to laugh at my father-in-law Harold's worn-out jokes. But no matter what I did, I was always that girl from the wrong neighbourhood who somehow married their golden boy, Ethan. The tension finally snapped the week Ethan's grandmother, Eleanor, moved into a care home. The family gathered at her old, creaky house to sort through her belongings. The air was thick with nostalgia and greed. Ethan's sister, Grace, was already pocketing small trinkets for memories. His brother, Paul, circled the antique dining table like a vulture. And then there was Margaret, my mother-in-law, her eyes sharp, her lips pressed in permanent disapproval. A week later, the storm hit. Margaret called me, her voice dripping with panic. "Sarah!" "Something terrible has happened. Grandma Eleanor's sapphire bracelet is gone. The heirloom. We searched everywhere after you left. My heart sank." I don't know anything about it, Margaret." The silence on the line spoke louder than words. "We'll have to discuss this, as a family." That discussion turned into an interrogation. They all came, Harold, Margaret, Grace, and Paul. A tribunal in my own living room. Ethan sat beside me, his hand on my shoulder, a lifeline that trembled with doubt. "Maybe you misplaced it, dear," Margaret said sweetly, her tone laced with poison. "I never even touched it," I replied, my voice cracking. Then Grace spoke up, feigning regret. "Mum, I wasn't going to mention it, but I saw Sarah near Grandma's jewellery box that day. I thought it was odd a lie, polished and ready." Harold looked away. Paul shook his head in disgust. "And Ethan?" He didn't say a word. But the flicker of uncertainty in his eyes broke something inside me. They didn't call the police. That would have been too shameful. Instead, they quietly erased me. Disinvited from family dinners, excluded from chats, treated like a stranger in my own home. For months, I lived under that shadow. The silence between Ethan and me grew heavier with every passing day. Until one afternoon, a miracle, or maybe fate, stepped in. Grandma Eleanor called me. Her voice, though frail, carried steel beneath it. "Sarah, darling, what nonsense is this about my bracelet?" I told her everything, every painful detail. Her eyes narrowed. "Bring me my tablet." When she opened her security feed, footage from the day the family cleaned out her house, I felt my stomach drop. There it was, clear as day. Grace, glancing around nervously, slipping the sapphire bracelet into the pocket of my coat, the one I'd hung on a chair while carrying boxes. Cold, calculated, caught on camera. Eleanor's jaw tightened. "They never imagined I'd know how to use this thing," she muttered, glaring at the screen. "It's time they learn." Ethan and I hosted a dinner, a peace offering. The family arrived smug and composed, ready to accept my unspoken apology. But that night, I wasn't the one who would apologise. Once the table was set and everyone had eaten in tense silence, I stood up. "Margaret, Harold, you accused me of stealing Grandma's bracelet." "Let's not go back to that," Harold interrupted gruffly. "Oh, I think we should," I said, my voice steady. "Because the truth deserves its turn." Grace scoffed. "You really can't let it go, can you?" "I could," I said quietly, "if I didn't have this." I connected my laptop to the TV and pressed play. The room went still. The footage rolled. Grace, clearly visible, sneaking the bracelet into my coat pocket. The evidence was undeniable. Grace gasped. "Mom, Don't!" Margaret hissed. But Grace broke down. "It was your idea." "You said Sarah was a manipulator, that we had to make Ethan see who she really was." The room erupted. Harold shouted. Paul buried his face in his hands. Margaret stood frozen, her mask shattered. And Ethan? He stood up, trembling with fury. "Get out," he said quietly. "All of you. You tried to destroy my wife over a piece of jewellery, over status. You're dead to me." The Morrises left that night, defeated, silent, and stripped of their pride. And though vindication should have felt sweet, it didn't. Because truth doesn't always bring joy. Sometimes it just brings peace. Ethan and I found ours, finally, in the quiet honesty of our home, free from their judgment, free from their poison, and stronger for surviving it all. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe.